Against the Fourth Estate continues. Veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho was on Wednesday arrested and released after the DCI said it was a case of mistaken identity. And as Elizabeth Atieno now reports, this comes a day after a Nakuru-based journalist was shot while covering the nationwide protests, which begs the question on whether freedom of the press still exists in the country.
On Tuesday, Nakuru-based journalist Catherine Wanjeri was fighting for her life. Wednesday, veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho was running for his life. Is this going to be the life of journalists from now henceforth? Journalists whose only weapon are cameras and microphones?
These are emblems of sanctity. In international humanitarian law, you respect the Red Cross, true or false? True. You respect the Red Crescent, true or false? True. Why don't you respect this?
Well, this is the question lingering in the minds of members of the Fourth Estate, a situation exacerbated by today's incident where veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho, in the company of his son, were trailed while leaving their current home and later bundled into a waiting unmarked probox. A short video shows 3 uniformed police officers and others in civilian clothing roughing him up and pushing him inside the car.
I came with them. I was still handcuffed in the car. We stopped here, just across the road here near the Shell petrol station. That is the time they asked for my ID, and I gave it to them.
A few hours later, the National Police Service released a statement saying it was a case of mistaken identity as they were after blogger Francis Gaitho, a statement that does not sit well with many Kenyans.
They did not explain how they could have trailed me right from my home or near my home, if it was indeed a case of mistaken identity.
In a bid to fight for freedom of the press, journalists from Nakuru and Kiambu counties on Wednesday held peaceful protests to condemn the shooting of Kameme TV journalist Catherine Wanjeri, who was shot by police officers while covering the Tuesday demos.
It is important that the officer in question be held accountable for his action to ensure justice for Ms. Wanjeri and to set a precedent that such conduct by law enforcement officers will not be tolerated.
It happened yesterday for us. It was that is quite an unfortunate incident.
The Kenya Union of Journalists and the Kenya Editors Guild have strongly condemned the recent attacks on journalists, even as members of the Fourth Estate plan to hold nationwide demonstrations on Wednesday next week.
This has always been the trend. Last year we saw that when we are having a similar protest and journalists were targeted by the police. And we are concerned that no action was taken because even the police officer who was doing all this actually is known.
The Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, has now commenced investigations to bring the rogue police officers to book.
And I'm sure we shall be able to make very good and quick progress in this matter.
For now, journalists in the country demand to know why they are being targeted for fulfilling their duty, which is to report the truth. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.